Hey guys, so if you saw my last video, you'll have seen I finally made a playable Blood Bowls pitch. I'm going with Blood Bowls 7, so this pitch is obviously a bit smaller than the normal size. So now the pitch is ready, now it's time to get some, well, Blood Bowl teams ready. And as I'm primarily going to be playing with my son, I'll let him decide which team I'd paint first, as well, this is going to be his team. So he likes the Lizard Men, so that's what I'm going to go for. So in this video, I'm going to show how I'm going to paint these in, well, the tried and tested manner of how I paint all my miniatures for the last, well, nearly 3 years now, which is absolutely crazy. Amount of miniatures I've probably painted in that 3 years, and all from the good old Slapchop method. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to show you what I'm going to do in this video. So when you go for the full process, obviously you've got to start by, well, getting the miniatures off the sprues. So using some good old clippers, a scalpel, a bit blunt there, but it still does the job, cement glue. And yeah, it is just a case of, well, taking them off, sticking them on this painting handle. These are 3D printed, things I've designed, well, quite some time ago. They're over on Patreon if you want to get hold of them. So yeah, taking the miniatures off the sprues, always still a fun thing because, well, these sprues, they have numbers on them, obviously, and correspond to a little booklet you get to show you which parts need to glue to other parts. But they still, the numbers, it's always like a challenge. It's a game in itself, trying to find the pieces you want because they're not always next to each other. Like number one isn't necessarily going to be next to number two, and so on. So I'll cut all the bits out for this one person. But as you can see, yeah, sometimes there are mold lines or just bits where you cut the miniature off. So just take the scalpel, gently try and sort of slice, cut off the bit, and then just scrape the scalpel along the edge, and that sort of removes any mold lines and bits and pieces that shouldn't be there. Obviously, it's worth taking time to do this because if you don't, when you come to paint it, any mold lines or bits that shouldn't be there will really show up a lot. So yeah, take a few minutes. It doesn't take long. Always be careful though, because obviously, as you can see, I am pushing the blade towards my fingers. I know generally we say if you're using the blade, put it away from yourself because you will cut yourself. And yes, I have cut myself many a time, and I'm sure many of you guys have too. But that's just how we have to roll with it. And then, yeah, cement glue. Love using this stuff. I use the one on the brush. Obviously, any kind of cement glue will do this. Obviously, you could use normal super glue if you like. But cement glue I always find better because when you put it on, it doesn't bond instantly. So you've got a little bit of time to move a bit around to get it in that right spot. So these do come with bases. And if you've been on my channel for a while, you'll know typically I like using round clear bases. But for the case of these guys, I'm going to use normal bases because, well, they work better on the uneven terrain and because I want to put grass on them. So yeah, every base is going to have grass. But as you just saw there, the bases that came with these dudes have got the slits in. Well, none of these guys have the slits on their feet. So I've gone for just normal round bases. So they're all based up. Again, I'm going to be playing Blood Bowl 7s, but I'm also going to be playing it with a mix of using my own sort of homebrew rules. So I've only got 7 miniatures here. But the one thing with a lot of these is they're all standing on like 1 foot. And as these are going to be sort of picked up and moved around quite a bit by myself and my son, yeah, I never like miniatures that are just standing on 1 foot. I don't feel there's enough contact between them and the base. So as you can see, I've got these little cork bits. And basically I'm going to use them as obviously little stones, rubble, all the rest of it. But I'm going to cunningly disguise them as bits to sort of help their feet have more contact with the ground. As you can see, a whole variety of sort of shapes and sizes of cork here, which is pretty cool. And yeah, just a case of sliding that nicely underneath. So there is going to be more contact between their feet and the base. And I'm going to do this to all of them because pretty much most of them, I think it's only a couple that are actually connected by both feet. So just to make it look even more even, they're all going to get a little bit of rubble on them, even if I'm not using ones for the ones with the extra feet. Not the extra feet to make contact with the foot. Yeah, so they're all ready to go. So this is the bit I love. Obviously, well, I love the whole thing of this hobby, to be honest. Priming these. Priming is so easy. So I use primer from Colourforge. Been using their primer for, I don't know now. I've been saying 2 years for a while. So it must be at least 3 years, maybe even longer. And then just going over dry brushing with white. When I first did this, I used to do dry brushing with grey and then with white. But then found that the grey, it makes a little difference, but not really enough to warrant doing it. And I say the reason why I love painting this sort of style and this sort of way is because it really is quick and efficient. So literally, these guys were all painted in about an hour. So you're looking at about sort of 10 minutes per miniature, which is just insane. And I know a lot of people might say, oh, yeah, but where's the joy in that? Because you want to spend more time painting. Yeah, all good to you. This is where we are all different in what we like and what we like doing. Obviously, I love this hobby. I love painting. I love making things. I love the whole aspect of all of it. But for me, when it comes to painting, I've tried to paint miniatures and like spent a long time on them, as in like hours and hours. Haven't felt any difference in how they look if I do spend a long time on them, other than it's taken a long time. So for me, being able to get these out nice and quick to a decent sort of look, definitely a look that I like, that's for sure. Yeah, I'll happily go with the speedy option rather than obviously the long-winded option. And as I say, I mean, doing this sort of slap chop style, this is kind of almost like a good base for doing miniatures. You get a lot of contrast in the colours. There's the highlights and the lowlights, shadows, all the rest of it. But you could then go over these and add more detail, more highlights, and all the rest of it. But say for me, especially when I got so many miniatures, yeah, I really want to start getting these painted. And again, obviously, because I want to start playing Blood Bowl, but I do get bored easy. So I like the idea of having a variety of Blood Bowl teams to have the choice of playing. It's the same with the kill team that I play. I don't know how many kill teams I've got. Yeah, I went nuts. Again, this is what I always do. I always say this. I get very fixated on one game or one genre or one style or something, and then go nuts with it. So you'd have seen me do like loads of Hero Quest videos in a go, loads of kill team videos in a go. Obviously, over Christmas, I did loads of sprue videos all in one go. I find it very difficult to do a bit of everything at once. I get very excited and very fixated on one sort of particular thing. And at the moment, yeah, it's Blood Bowl, as you can see. Although that being said, I am getting my boxes of Hero Quest miniatures back out because I've still not finished all of them. I got quite near. I think my Hero Quest is about 75% all painted. So I need to get back on that and get more of them painted. So yeah, as you can see, yeah, painting this way, it's like painting by numbers. It really is. It's that simple, that quick, that easy. Obviously, Speed Paints and the Dipping Inks from Green Stuff World, they really do all the hard work. All I need to do is make sure I don't go outside the edges, which is getting a little bit harder to do because obviously I wear glasses, and I think I do need to go and get some new glasses, well, or get my eyes retested because sometimes I'm holding these things very near my face or quite far away from my face because my eyes can't quite get adjusted to them. I have looked into or thought about getting those big sort of magnifying glasses. I may give them a go one day because, yeah, things are getting trickier and trickier. Again, that's why being able to paint this easy with this sort of style and get results that I'm really happy with is really good because it means I haven't got to sort of spend hours painting something and then getting the old eye strain. I can really just get in, knock a batch of these out. Say these were, say honestly, 7 of these guys, they were done in about an hour, which for me is just ideal. So now I've got my son's team. Now it's a case of doing my team, and I'm torn between obviously the usual orcs. There's some cool goblins, and there's also some sort of giants out there. So yeah, I'm not too sure what team I'm going to have, which is why again I want to sort of make a lot of teams up, just because I've got the variety of playing with different miniatures, which I actually love the miniatures. I also will be making some display cases for these. You may have seen in the past I've made display cases for the kill team. Yeah, I'm going to do exactly the same for the Blood Bowl. And it's going to be fairly similar to the old cases, but I want to make them a bit smaller because I know I am going to have a load of these teams. So yeah, I need to make them a bit smaller, and I'm going to make them magnetized. So all the display boxes, they are going to look great on their own, but they're going to be magnetized, so I'm going to be able to stack them upwards and sideways, and yeah, all will look good. So yeah, keeping these fairly simple. Say this is where obviously everything I want to use the base as well, because I do want to put, say, the grass on it. I'm going to use the same sort of grass that I used in the actual for the Blood Bowl sort of board that I made. I've got some grass left over, so going to be putting this on, and eventually we'll be putting the like a white stripe on their bases. But I'm going to wait till I make their display cases and then have white lines on that. So when these guys fit into the display case, the white lines will be going obviously the same or right direction. And yeah, it's very simple. So I'm not using the expensive static grass. This is just a cheaper one. I have had a go at making my own grass before, and basically it's just like wood shavings. I think I used or sawdust. That was it, sawdust, and then just paint it. So that's kind of what this stuff is. But yeah, it does the job. Say it doesn't have to be too fancy. It doesn't have to be too neat. This is again, guys. This is where we're all different. And I know some of you guys be like, "Oh yeah, static grass looks better." Yeah, it probably does. You go ahead, do that. I've done this, and this is how they look. And like to say, yeah, I love them. And again, this is where, for the amount of time I've spent, I think the result is pretty cool. In the past, I used to spend hours painting miniatures. Didn't enjoy painting the miniatures. Didn't enjoy how they looked afterwards. So when Slapchop came along, say nearly 3 years ago, yeah, I absolutely love this, and it's just made my my wanting to paint miniatures just yeah. I paint miniatures every day, guys. Sometimes for videos, and sometimes well, not even for videos. So there we go. So here's my my 7 sort of squad. I say I am going to be making up my own sort of rules on this. I want to make it more like rugby with maybe a bit of wrestling thrown in, which I know kind of Blood Bowl is. But say with me and with some play, I just want to make simpler rules to make it easier for both of us, and I'll make up some nice cards to represent well represent the figures and what they do. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks a lot for staying to the end and watching everything. And as I say, Slapchop painting, yeah, I can't see me ever not Slapchop painting. I do like trying other sort of types of painting as well, just to give everything a go. Because obviously that's the main thing with this hobby. It's about trying things, especially new things, and then seeing whether we like it or not, and maybe adapting it to well to how we sort of work. So Slapshot painting is my main method. Sometimes I do a little bit of highlighting afterwards, and sometimes I'm like, yeah, job done. Okay, guys, you all take care. Another video coming up on the screen soon. Give that a click, see more about what I do. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave comments, all that fun stuff. And guys, if you are new here, it'd be awesome if you could hit that subscribe button, as I know a vast majority of people who watch my videos aren't actually subscribed, but love watching them, which is great. Anyway, I'm waffling. See you guys later. Bye now.